All right. Okay. Hi, Derek.
Hey, what's up, Elizabeth? How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited about our Bourbon Trail trip coming up in April.
Same here. One of my favorite times of the year, for sure.
So we have a lot of new members that haven't been on this trip before. So we wanted to take a moment to talk to you all and tell you how awesome this Bourbon Trail trip is coming up. We have a few tickets remaining and we want to sell the bus out. We put a lot of work into this and pull a lot of strings and connections. And so we want to make sure that we have good representation down in Kentucky with the Missouri Whiskey Society. So we're going to walk you through what's included on the trip. Derek, do you want to tell the members why we choose to go on Sunday and Monday?
Yeah, Sunday, Monday is just a more convenient time for a VIP type stuff that happens. So, typically a lot of these distilleries are not open or they're not available. So we try to make things available that aren't necessarily available. It's a lot of times, things, like, we'll see in the slide later that, guys like Al Young have showed up because it's just their day off and things like that, where it's not just like the typical grind and there aren't so many people around where we just get lost in the shuffle. This is just a much better way to go on a bourbon trip. That's just, what we found over the years. This is number 4, right? Yeah,
definitely. We've gone on other days of the week, but it's just crowded. And so I like going when it's less crowded. So here's what's included in this awesome trip. And by the way, it's April 10th through the 11th. First of all, transportation. So we rent a bus and we will pick you guys up here in St. Louis. Our pickup spot will be in Webster Groves. And then if we have anybody that's on the Illinois side, we can do a special Illinois pickup and drop off. That way you don't have to drive around like crazy.
That's great. Like 20 minutes into our trip, we can just stop easily.
And someone usually has to use the bathroom within 20 minutes. So
yeah. Work out. And by the way, the bus that we typically have is nice. It's not, like a school bus or anything like that. Everybody has a captain's chair. We try to put together like a flask or something for everybody to use so they don't spill on themselves, things like that. We try to accommodate. There are a lot of organic snacks ready to go with a provide, I'm sure.
I bring lots of varieties, including Oreos and all that deliciousness too. But historically, the bus ride is actually the favorite part of people's experience because you get to bond and meet people. We play some games. And we always do a whiskey tasting, which Derek will be leading up. He has some special items, right? That you're going to bring along?
Yeah, I'm going to bring, I would say, I don't know, I'm probably going to bring about 6 that we can taste. And it's kind of a long trip, so we won't just like drink the entire time, I don't think, but we can, enjoy the 6 different whiskeys that I'll bring and talk about them and enjoy them and things like that. And it is a great, kind of atmosphere on the bus. I really like the camaraderie for sure. And just being able to sit back and relax and not worry about anything. We have a driver that takes care of everything and we just don't have to worry. It's great.
Yeah. And it's super safe. So if we did look at an option of just getting a bus down in Kentucky, but the price was almost the same for us to get a bus there versus a bus up here and drive us there and back. So that's why we chose this option. Because you're right, Derek, you get to relax and enjoy a drink and get to meet new people, and it's safe and like it's the best part of the trip in my opinion. So
my favorite part of the trip actually on the bus is to, see people that have never been to Kentucky or have never been on the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah.
Kind of get them pumped up with the tasting on the way down and just to show that it's really easy to get around down there. We know a lot of people, we have a lot of connections and, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we don't have our exact time that we're departing, but it'll be before noon because we set up a super awesome VIP tour and tasting with Evan Williams, Heaven Hill. So Derek, I'll let you kind of dive into the details on that.
I want to thank Paul Casamatas. He's been a member for a long time, and he, if you see him around town selling candles, he sells candles that are cut out of whiskey bottles. It's really a really cool concept. and he does really well and supports us so great. But he has a great connection, at Evan Williams at Heaven Hill. And, he set up this VIP tour tasting, which isn't the typical tasting. We did the tasting in the past, which was fantastic. And, they have a great tasting room. And really what makes this more VIP is the whiskeys that they bring out of the back, things that if you saw on the shelf, you would want to buy it right away. There are a lot of Old Fitzgerald. I'm not sure what they're going to bring out exactly, but, in the past, it's been Old Fitzgerald 15, things like that you can't get. So this is going to be a really good addition to what we're trying to do. And that's a good way to kick off the trip. We're going to get there and be at the tasting by 3:30. So that's fantastic. And keep in mind, there's 1 hour time difference between here and St. Louis. So it is a little strange when you go on this trip. You feel kind of weird. I don't know. How do you explain that?
Yeah, it is. It's so crazy how like a 1 hour shift can happen. Yeah.
But this tour is just fantastic. Obviously, you guys know what Evan Williams and Heaven Hill, what they do. So many different varieties of whiskeys and just a really cool tour. So excited about that. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. We'll make sure that there's lunch provided. So once you RSVP for the trip, there'll be separate emails coming out about lunch orders and things like that. So that would be lunch on the bus in order to get us there on time. Then Sunday night, we were staying at the lovely Omni Hotel in Louisville. This hotel is gorgeous. They have a really beautiful bar. And then there's lots of options for dinner around the hotel. And so
more beautiful bars.
Yes, I've actually only been to that one, so I didn't know there was more than that. So you guys can explore your dinner options on your own. Dinner's not included on this because we just want you to go and have fun. And we don't have to wake up super early on Monday morning. So that gives you a chance to, even if you want to do some bar hopping, you're more.
And by the way, that is a very positive change in this trip. In the past, we've had to leave the hotel even as early as 7 o'clock. And after you've had whiskeys and enjoyed some times the night before, it's really difficult to get up. So the adjustment, thank you, Elizabeth, is much needed.
I'm an early person, so I didn't mind it. But
I think we all
we had
are.
a few members not like that.
It's not as fun, So
yeah.
Our helps.
So Monday morning when you wake up, again, breakfast, lots of options at the Omni for you to enjoy. We don't have to leave super crazy early, but I think it's going to be around like 8:30, 9-ish that we'll have to head out. And we're going straight to an amazing tour at the new James B. Bean Distilling Company. So that's the Jim Beam Distillery that you may have been to before, but they've totally rehabbed it. It's absolutely amazing. And this is actually going to be an industry tour. So they don't give tours on Monday. So our group is getting a really special VIP behind the scenes tour, which we're super excited about. I haven't seen this new facility, like the new rehab facility. So I'm personally excited to see what they've done. And then after that tour, we will grab lunch and then we're going to head on over to Peerless Distillery, which again, I personally have not been to, but Derek, you have.
I have, and it's one of the coolest places around. It's actually in downtown Louisville. So it's really a different type of tour. Smaller complex, but that's great. Their whiskeys are fantastic. I know their whiskeys are a little bit expensive, but they're going to bring some of those nice whiskeys out for us to try. And I would imagine, every time I have been to Peerless, the owner is there and the master distiller is there. So I think that, we probably will get a VIP treatment like that as well.
Yeah. And that's, kind of the great thing, as you all know, is going down to these distilleries and doing the gift shop buying. There's products that you don't get to get here in Missouri. And so you'll be able to have special buying privileges while we're down in Kentucky. Then we're going to head back. You can see that we do get a little relaxed on our return back on the bus. Bush beer, Ham's beer might make an appearance while we're stopping at the pit stops.
We'll have plenty of water. We'll have things like that.
Yes.
Don't feel like you have to drink the entire time, but it is fun to, have a few and just relax and not worry about the drive and not worry about, really what you normally do when you go out. You can just relax. Look at Ali Young.
Yeah. So we're going to share a couple photos of previous trips. My dad made a little
Yeah, I
horrible
was gonna say,
photobomb there. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, we get to meet these amazing, legendary people on these tours. So, Derek, do you want to talk about Al?
yeah, Al, he, not sure, he passed away like almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, right? Something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
And we were fortunate enough to like go into this tasting, at Four Roses, and we had no idea that Al Young was actually going to be the guy with Brent Elliott, the master distiller, and Al Young, who is the original salesperson for Four Roses. I think all of you know who that is. We were able to go on a tour with these two guys, and that's an example of what happens. They were not just taking us to the typical thing, and most distilleries, when you walk through, they kind of seem similar, but when you get to see the VIP back office of what they're doing, it's way different, and that's what we're all about, and that's what we hope to achieve on this trip as well. You never know, surprises like Al Young or Brent Elliott or Fred No, he has helped us on a tour before. Eddie and Jimmy Russell have both helped us on a tour. Jimmy usually just kind of goes on a scooter for a little while and then backs off. Eddie has been there multiple times, but it's just great. So you're going to meet some people that are very important in the whiskey business and very important in bourbon country. And you can't do this anywhere else.
Yeah. And we've been on several tours, and it's not just meeting the people, it's just the whole experience. Like, it's just really, honestly, a great time. And you walk away with new friends that you never would have expected to have. I think that's the best part of it. And there's been two significant members that have since passed away that were huge parts of these trips, and how precious that was to be able to have that time and get to know them. And so I don't know. I love it that we just all take a pause, go explore, have a good time, and celebrate our favorite shared spirit.
And, I agree, Elizabeth, most people can't see it from our point of view because we've been on every single trip. But the way to solve that is to go on every single trip, because there is a unique atmosphere every time. It's not just sitting back and we like do the same thing every time and time again. It is 100% a unique experience every time you go. So if you've gone on it before, don't feel like it's going to be the same. Obviously the stories are going to be similar but different. Everybody's going to have a new thing going on, and people are just going to really just drive what we're trying to do. So it's for the membership. It's not for Elizabeth and I, and we want you guys to experience what you want to experience. So if you see anything on the trip, let us know. We'll stop. We'll do whatever. We'll go to a liquor store to try to find, honey pot whiskeys, things like that. I think it's really cool. We're just flexible as well.
Yeah. And actually the schedule on this trip is a little more fluid than normal. So that's even better for us this time around. So we would love for you all to join us. We have about 10 tickets remaining. It's going to be a really small, intimate group. It's maxed out at 20 people. That's including Derek and I. That's per some COVID restrictions when we were setting some things up. But that's the perfect size to really get a great experience. The prices are here. So single room, shared room. So shared room is you would have to have a buddy to be with, a spouse or a friend to be able to share a room to get that price. There's no markup. Like, we don't make money off of this. Like, literally Derek and I just volunteer our time to go down and do this. The cost is covering the hotel, the transportation, the food that we're providing, the snacks. So it's really at cost experience. So we hope that you guys really consider coming, because I think you'll be disappointed when you see the photos afterwards.
It's a great time, and Elizabeth puts a whole lot of work into this. And like she says, there's not any money coming like our way or anything like that. We just want to make the experience great. The price is high because, the hotel's great, but the transportation is great and the experience is great. It's not, it's just a great experience. So we're super happy with where we are on this.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to Derek and I. We'd love to fill in any gaps that we might have missed during this little presentation. We will need to be getting hotel confirmations in here really, really soon. So I need to confirm the stop date for that. So don't wait. If you're thinking about coming, just buy your ticket. The only caveat in this is that tickets are non-refundable, but they're transferable. So if you, for some reason you can't come, you can transfer your ticket to a friend. And at that point, it's okay if they're not a member, like we understand. That's not a big deal. So we hope you guys will join us.